How are you doing, team? Nokia Power is here and we welcome you all to a very interesting video. In this video, not only we will demo the major features and changes that Android Pie brings to Nokia 8, we will also share our experience so far of using Android Pie on Nokia 8. HMD missed the schedule of releasing Android Pie to Nokia 8 and now they have chosen the beta channel to release the first beta build of Android Pie to Nokia 8, which shows that there may have been some issues and bugs which they wanted to fix and they needed help of Nokia 8 owners in that. So if you are a Nokia 8 owner, you can just go to our tutorial on Nokia Power and you can see how to update to Nokia update your Nokia 8 to the Android Pie beta. So now coming to the, because we got many questions from many users who have asked us about how whether there is any data loss while upgrading to Android Pie beta. And there is one more very important question which says that if it is their daily driver, how it's going to cope with this Android Pie beta. So we will quickly answer those two questions. So first, answer the first question is there is no data loss. You can see this is also a daily driver Nokia device, and it has upgraded to Android Pie beta, and there is no data loss. It is very smooth actually. This upgrade has been very smooth. So now we are, this device is updated to Android 9 Pie. Now coming to the answer to the second question. So far this build has been very stable. So we have not seen any issues of any kind which may be said to be deal breaker. So everything works smoothly so far. Whatever like general daily daily tasks that you may have been doing on your device will be as good as ever. So pretty much, it's as fast as it was with Oreo 8.1. So, if you ask us, we will recommend that you can actually go ahead and upgrade to Android Pie Beta because, major issue wise, we have not encountered any. So there are like no, you may have seen that there are no lags, no freezes, no restarts. It's all working fine. Now coming to the major features and changes part. So basically, Android Pie brings lots of UI changes, lots of different kind of usability changes, etc. with itself. So few things are actually different on Nokia 8 than on other devices. So here I have a Nokia 7.1. So you will quickly notice the changes since Nokia 8 comes with capacitive hardware buttons and Nokia 7.1 and like other devices like Nokia 7.1 and then 6.1, 6.1 plus, these all have on-screen navigation buttons. So there you will see this gesture navigation enabled, which is actually missing on Nokia 8. So, when Yoho HMD CPO has posted the tweet, he somehow in that video we saw that it had gesture navigation along with these buttons, but when we go to the gestures here, we don't see it there. So you don't see that gesture option, which you would be really available. So only here you see the swipe up on home button on Nokia 7.1. This option is missing. So you cannot enable the gesture navigation. Now with this hardware buttons, many may ask this question why the gesture navigation is required. But then that is, gesture navigation is important part of Android Pie experience because it's a new kind of navigation. It's not there. So anyways, maybe with next beta build, HMD may like to, enable it. Okay, now coming to the second very important gen that you will see from 7.1. So you are forced to see this search bar here, but there is no such search bar on Nokia 8, which may be a good news because that is how, many people like to remove this search bar and there is no option to remove it. But here on Nokia 8, you don't see it. That is great. So one thing is missing, but other thing which is missing is good. Now coming to other changes, what that Android Pie brings. So you will notice that we go to the notification center, there are lots of changes actually. And again here there is a change which is different from other other Nokia devices that already got Android. So here you see that day and time on top of this brightness bar. But in case of other devices, like Nokia 7.1, 6.1, 6.1 plus, and even Nokia 8.1. I have not seen this date and time here on top of that bar, brightness bar, but here it is in case of Nokia 8. So here, like I just showed you three differences from other Nokia devices which are running Android Pie and Nokia 8. Now let us focus on the major features and changes. So as I said, while there is no gesture navigation, multitasking has changed completely. So if I go to the multitasking now, you will see that the card interface is totally changed. Now it is in more like what you will see on iOS and on even the Windows Phone. So this card interface now it's like this. You cannot swipe left or right to kind of close it. You will have to swipe up, then you would be able to close it, and you will go swipe left and right for the navigation of the cards. Now, if you want to do a split screen, what you need to do is to tap on the top of this card, enter the split screen, and then choose another one. So now you can see how this split screen multitasking has also changed. How it's different to enable it actually. So the multitasking has changed, closing apps has changed, and then the option of entering the split screen has changed. This is how it works. So this is more like navigation since there is no gesture navigation. So this is what has changed in terms of multitasking and navigation. Now, if you go to the notification center, you see everything. All the icons have changed. They have new paint job. This brightness bar has changed as well. Its behavior has also changed. There is something called adaptive brightness. Now, the auto brightness is replaced by adaptive brightness, more like with the surrounding. So it's the same functionality, but the name has changed anyways. And all the icons of every action, quick action button has a new look, which is different. Now, if you go to edit, you will see even other items or other icons have now new look. If we go to settings, we'll see again the same thing, lots of changes. All the icons have new look. When you go inside, you will see lots of changes from the earlier what you saw on audio 8.1. Okay, now if here we wanted to show you one thing quickly. So on Android audio 8.1, if you change the wallpaper, the theme changes. So currently you see that the theme is light, and if I change the wallpaper, the theme will change. We'll quickly see it, and I will also talk about a new option of that. So now I have changed the wallpaper. With that, the theme had changed to dark. Now, not only this can be controlled with a new option which has been provided. So if you go to display, you go to the device theme, and you see that you can set it as light, you can set it as dark, you can set it automatic based on wallpaper. So this is a new option which has been provided to provide you more control over what theme you want for your device. Okay. So these are like more the UI changes, the UI changes and how the looks have been changed, the appearance has changed. So which is more of visible changes with Android Pie. Now talking about different changes like uh, now the functional ones. So functional ones, the first thing that we wanted to show it to you is the adaptive battery. But what we see here that still this battery option has been kept as battery manager. So it should have been the adaptive battery, which is the new option of Android Pie, which is like one of the major features, which is not available surprisingly. But here I can see that this option has arrived, which shows that all the apps are running fine normally, or I mean any app is eating battery. But apart from that, the adaptive battery is missing. I think that with next beta build it will be available. We talked about the adaptive brightness, and you can see the adaptive brightness here. Now coming to one more kind of like UI related or visual changes. You see this auto rotate. So if I put it as portrait, and let's see if I enter any of the app. So I entered here. If I now move this device to the landscape orientation, okay. So it's a bit surprising that I'm not able to see that option here. Actually, on other devices running Android Pie, it shows us an option of, uh, kind of like enabling that auto rotation for a short period, so which is not here, which is like I said, is a bit surprising. So maybe that option is not available on Nokia 8, because we have seen that the Android Pie for Nokia 8 is a bit different. Okay, now coming to other major features. So if you go to the power button and long press it, you will see that now you have a new way to get a screenshot. I'll get this screenshot now. And when you capture a screenshot, you are now offered more options like edit. So you can edit this screenshot by using new filters, or you can just choose all the options like light color and pop yourself. You can do more, you can do rotation, etc. And then you can send this screenshot, share it quickly. So these all options are available. Now there is even more. So if you now go to the volume rocker, so you will see only one option compared to the three options which used to be available on Oreo. There is only one option that is available, but if you go to settings, you will see all the options here now. So again, that volume option has changed. Now, whether it has changed for good or bad, I cannot comment. But I personally would have liked the, all three volume options appearing here. But now I can get one, and further I have to do this. Okay, now coming to even one very important, setting, or like very important change that I obviously love to highlight, is that now if earlier, while going through a text, when you enter a text in somewhere, while doing something like search, or while doing texting, if you search there, you can just move it like this. But now if you try to move through this, any of the text that you have entered, you will see this zoomed in option. So like, it was earlier present, I mean, it was present on iOS already, but here now you have entered the text in the Google search, and if you navigate through it, you will see this kind of like the zoomed in, representation of that text, which makes it much easy to, navigate through what you have written here. So I can write more text, and then when I navigate, it shows me the zoomed in picture, and I would be able to do it easily. So this is important, this is like a change in usability, and really like it. Okay, now while coming to a very important feature which is called digital well-being, and which we have demoed many times on other Nokia smartphones running Android Pie. So the digital well-being is not available here by default, and even when we tried to install it through an APK, it did not work. So I don't know why it did not work, because for other devices, other Nokia Android smartphones with Android Pie, it worked fine, and we were able to get it here, but it did not work for us. So maybe that will be enabled later, because that's why we are not able to show or demo that digital well-being here. But only we would like to mention that digital well-being is a feature which allows you to get more control on your smartphone usage. You understand that where you devote your time, or where, I mean, you waste your time or use your time while playing with what part of smartphone, what kind of action you do more, what kind of function you use more on the smartphone, and you can actually manage it. It's lots of enhancement also in do not disturb feature there. So we could have loved to show that, but since it's not available through even APK installation, we would like to recommend you to go to the videos of other smartphones like Nokia 6.1 plus, Nokia 6.1, 7 plus, etc. And you can notice how digital well-being works. Now, apart from that, there are more features. So I would quickly, they're like which is called suggested apps. So some suggested apps appear here. So that happens after you have started using Android 5 for some time. So that is like a machine intelligence kind of feature. And also there are like something called apps action. So let's say if I go here and I entered name of any app, so there can be like a app action kind of square banner here, which can help me quickly doing that. So these features are not available here, and these are like maybe they come later with more builds and further Android Pie updates, but for now these features are not available. So in a nutshell, these are all the major features and changes that Android Pie brings for your device for Nokia 8, and we obviously talked about I think mostly all of those major features and changes. If anything is left, you can actually refer to the Android features and changes list on Nokia Power User. You will come to know all the changes. And as we told you, there are some difference between the Nokia 8 Android Pie and the Android Pie on other devices with on-screen buttons. So we have quickly told you the differences, and we also demoed the major features and changes of Android Pie on Nokia 8. Few are not available, they may come later. So now, talking about again, we shared our experience of how we have found Android Pie on Nokia 8. We also told you that there is no data loss while upgrading. Coming to battery life, so we started using Android Pie on Nokia 8 since like yesterday, and the battery life has been okay. I mean, it's not deteriorating too fast, not discharging too fast. It's as good as it was with Oreo 8.1. We will share more if we find any difference during further uses. So with that, we come to end of this video. Hope you have liked this video. Stay tuned for more on Nokia Power YouTube channel and nokiapower.com. Thanks for watching.